Ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court of the United States.
What about the GMO case?
I agree with Clarence.
Well, I'm not so sure.
Hey, what's that noise?
Ah!
Welcome to Lawyer Flash. I'm your host, Jon Deer, and I explain the law. This week, in an important case, the United States Supreme Court dismissed a claim by organic and conventional farmers challenging the patents of Monsanto on genetically modified seeds. We'll look at what the farmers wanted and why the Supreme Court dismissed the appeal. GMO stands for genetically modified organisms, and the Monsanto Corporation develops seeds that are genetically modified. The seeds are modified so that the plants that grow from them are extra resistant to Roundup pesticide, another Monsanto product. Roundup kills weeds, but it can also kill some sensitive plants. The point of the genetic modification is to allow farmers to douse their plants in more pesticides, thus killing more weeds, while the plants withstand the pesticides. There's strong debate among farmers and consumers about whether these products are healthy and whether the increased pesticides present a risk to the public. Organic and conventional farmers who do not use GMO seeds are concerned that Monsanto's products will contaminate their crops. However, that debate was not part of this Supreme Court case. What was important here is that Monsanto has a patent on those seeds, so if any farmers grow plants with those genetic traits, they can be sued by Monsanto. But even that issue was not the basis for this case. Instead, the farmers are concerned that if their crops are contaminated, Monsanto will bring a patent infringement suit against them for growing these crops. Monsanto has already brought over 100 lawsuits against farmers who have used the patented genes without paying Monsanto's licensing fees. The suit challenges Monsanto's patents and also challenges Monsanto's right to sue farmers whose crops are inadvertently contaminated with Monsanto's genes. The farmers demanded declaratory relief, or a judgment from the court declaring that Monsanto never can sue them. And that's where the legal issue comes in. Declaratory relief is a request for the court to determine a legal issue about something that may happen in the future. Courts ordinarily will not give opinions about future hypotheticals. One of the few exceptions to that rule is when it's reasonably certain that this future act will happen, and the court's ruling will give guidance to the parties on how to act moving forward. Monsanto defended, saying, "We don't do that, we've never done that, and we promise to the court that we will not sue farmers that have less than 1% of our patented gene in their plant stock." The farmers argued that Monsanto has a long history of suing farmers to preserve their patent and that their in-court representation does not mean a thing. The farmers felt strongly that they have an actual controversy and that there is a great likelihood that they will be sued in the future. However, in the face of Monsanto's continued protestations to the contrary, the Supreme Court decided they would not hear the case. There is not what the court calls a present case or controversy. What the court's saying is come back when you get sued. We'll consider the issue then. For the many farmers who are left with fear and uncertainty regarding Monsanto's intentions and the effect of cross-contamination on their crops, this was not much solace. However, the farmers did get something out of the lawsuit. First of all, they got a binding representation made by Monsanto in court that it would not sue farmers with less than 1% of their genetic material in the farmer's plant stock. Second, they did not get an adverse ruling. The court merely deferred the issue for a future day. This is a lawsuit that may be brought again if Monsanto misbehaves and starts suing farmers over cross-contamination. Until that day, farmers remain uncertain and wary about the future. That's our show for this week. I hope we planted a few seeds for thought. You can find us here each week at lawyerflash.net or youtube.com/lawyerflash. Also, check out and like our Facebook page, and mostly subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm your host, Jon Deer. We'll see you next week on Lawyer Flash.